Yo, it's your man MAS. I'm back with a special one. All right. So I've been meaning to do a list like this for a minute. I know we're in 2024, but I feel like everybody had their own top five list, right? Top five of 2023, anime of 2023. So, better late than never. This is my top five top anime for me of 2023. And it's not going to be like number one is not going to be Jujutsu Kaisen, all right? It's very popular, and a lot of this kind of came about the conversations I've seen within like the anime community, people who are fans of anime, like literally arguing that Jujutsu Kaisen is like the best anime hands down of, I guess, ever, but 2023, like, I get you, people are fans, all those things. It's far from the best. Is it top five? Absolutely. Hence is why Jujutsu Kaisen is definitely in my top five anime of 2023. Like, you can't deny not putting it in that category, right? But hear me out. The title of best anime, like what are we categorizing of, right? Like, is it just like action? Is it production value? Is it all those things? Like, my argument is top five anime in terms of content, story. Like, hey, like, was this the best anime all around compared to all the other animes that came out in 2023? And then also hear me out, right? So keep in mind, like, there are different genres in anime, all right? So all because Jujutsu Kaisen is probably like the most popular one in this top five list doesn't mean that it is the top anime, because there are different genres, right? So other animes wouldn't be as popular, right, if it weren't for like people just watching this one genre. This is just to say there are other genres of anime that are just as popular, minus shonen, minus, like the action, right? They wouldn't be doing as well if it weren't for a particular reason. Just keep that in mind. Like slice of life, other kinds of anime, romance anime, there are some that are very, very popular, right? None of them really made it to like top five of 2023, but in general, they do well. So just kind of broaden your horizon, watch other anime. This is coming from somebody who's a 90s anime head. So a lot of my anime favorites come from like the 90s. So I do watch a lot of the new stuff again, but in regards to putting it in the Raptors, like the anime on this list, no. But in regards to like, I guess for the year 2023, I feel like these were the top five that stood out to me the most and definitely like needs the most recognition, right? So we'll get right into it, right? Title of the video pretty much like Jujutsu Kaisen is not number one. So I'm sorry to disappoint the people who feel like it is number one. But great if you feel like other animes that aren't on my list should be on the list. Like, definitely comment below, all right? So number five, Attack on Titans, all right? Attack on Titans is number five top anime of 2023. We're just talking about 2023, right? And the reason why it's top five is because it finally finished. All right. I feel like I've been waiting for that thing to finish for like ages, right? Ages. Like, they kept coming out with Attack on Titan's final part. Like, I'm like, come on, man. Like, just wrap it up. So that alone, the fact that the final episode, no BS, no beating around the bush. You know what I mean? Like, they said it to you like straight like that. Like, hey, this is it. We're not gonna jerk your chain anymore. This is it. And that alone, you gotta give it the number five spot, point blank. All right. Like, the fact that it finally ended, they made it a freaking movie. All right. It wasn't really a movie, but like the episode was that long where it's like, yo, just condense it. It was like condensed into a movie. And Attack on Titan in general is just a masterpiece. All right, it's my top five anime of all time. But again, I'm not judging the anime itself. I'm judging what is done for 2023. And for 2023, the fact that that masterpiece finally finished and released the final episode, that alone, you got to give it top five. All right, a beautiful ending. Armin ain't shit, but can't stand that dude. But yes, it deserves to be the top five. All right. If you want to dive into just Attack on Titan as a show in general, we can do that. But again, I just want to base this list off of 2023. What did Attack on Titans do for me in 2023 that makes the top five? Is the fact that I finally finished. It wrapped it up. You put a bow, you put a cherry on top. That's enough for me. All right. Number 4 for the top anime of 2023, the anime that ran 2023 in my opinion. All right, number 4 is Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Hands down, like I gotta put Jujutsu Kaisen in top 5. There's no way you couldn't. I guess the argument is gonna be for people, oh, this needs to be number 1. You know what you're talking about? Like, be honest with yourself. Let's be honest, right? Jujutsu Kaisen is a superior anime when it comes to action, right? You will get no gripes from me, no disputes, any of that. Like, Jujutsu Kaisen action is top tier. I have a previous video below talking about, Jujutsu Kaisen has a story in general, right? That's a separate video strictly about Jujutsu Kaisen. This isn't that. But in terms of 2023, I cannot give it the number 1 spot. I feel like everything else about Jujutsu Kaisen is mid, right? Everything else is mid minus the action. You'll never catch me soaring my mama like, oh, like Jujutsu Kaisen action is mid. Like, I'm not that crazy. I'm not gonna swear on anybody's mama's grave, grandmama's grave. Like, no, I'm not that. Well, I'll probably never do something like that anyway. But Jujutsu Kaisen action is top tier. The issue is everything else in the anime. All right. So for those who read the manga and wants to fight about the manga, not talking about the manga, talking about the anime. And to put even more disclaimer on it, right? I've only watched the anime up until the point where, what was it? I think the main character, he was about to fight the guy with the blood ability, right? One of the brothers. So Nanami, like that famous scene where he was beating up the guy with the yellow hair. Like, I'm butchering the names because it's been a while since I watched it. But Nanami came with the tie, boop, 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 right? Like, so that's where I left off. So if the episodes, which I highly doubt, but I'm okay being wrong, I highly doubt the episodes get that much fire after that. It's usually like you start from the jump and you kind of build up the momentum, right? It's very rare, so I'm not saying it's not possible. There's some animes that the story shifts at a certain episode and just gets a bulldozer for like crazy good. Is that Jujutsu Kaisen? Maybe it is. But again, I only got up to like a certain episode. I think I ended up on episode like Dull Knife. Either I watched the episode or it's the episode after that I haven't watched. So if the episodes get more fire and you guys are saying those episodes alone should push it to number 1 spot, then maybe I'll give you that. But from season 1 to now, and again, based off of just 2023, so I guess we're just going off of season 2, like, it's number 4. Story-wise, like, it's not the greatest. I'm sorry to break it to you. Like, compared to other animes that I've seen, there are way better stories than Jujutsu Kaisen. Power systems. That you could probably argue more, right? Jujutsu Kaisen power systems have been slightly better compared to other animes. But in regards to 2023, there have been significantly more animes, precisely 3, that have just been overall better compared to Jujutsu Kaisen. Is Jujutsu Kaisen still top 5? Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with being like number 4. You're just not number 1. Know what I mean? But like, listen, like I just haven't seen enough of Jujutsu Kaisen's story to be like, hey, like this thing is fire. All right. So action alone, yeah. Story wise, no. Jujutsu Kaisen is number 4 for me. All right. At least it's above Attack on Titans. But let's say Attack on Titans, those seasons came out in 2023. Jujutsu Kaisen probably number 5. All right. But the final episode alone, Attack on Titans number 5. Jujutsu Kaisen for what it is. Again, if you're being honest with yourself, for what it is number 4. All right. And here are the anime, in my opinion, that are better than Jujutsu Kaisen that ran 2023. All right. So number 3 on the list is Vinland Saga. All right. Without question, right? Vinland Saga story is 10 times better than Jujutsu Kaisen for where they're at currently. Again, if Jujutsu Kaisen's story picks up, then that'll be a different story, right? But for where those animes are at, Vinland Saga's story is way better than Jujutsu Kaisen currently. And that's just the truth of the matter. And that's how I know it's true, because I've seen people argue that in these kind of anime communities and anime talks. Like, people say Jujutsu Kaisen is like, you know, the best anime. People like, It can't be. Like, Vinland Saga exists. Vinland Saga Season 2 came out. Vinland Saga Season 2 was fire. All right? So, my opinion, Vinland Saga Season 2, was it fire? No. It's number 3. Vinland Saga is number 3, but Vinland Saga Season 2 was not fire. Vinland Saga Season 1 was fire. If the Vinland Saga Season 1 came out this year, it would be number 1 hands down, no question. The issue that I have with Vinland Saga Season 2, granted, they did a lot more story development, but I mean, it's the meme of like Farmland Saga. Like, I felt like I spent majority of the time watching them farm, right? And granted, there were some action scenes here or there, my man Thorfinn, but like it was such a slow burn, but their storytelling was so superior that was enough to overcome Jujutsu Kaisen's action. Yes, a show about farming can overcome a show that's strictly about action and powers and all that stuff. Like, Vinland Saga can do that. Vinland Saga story was just that good. The issue again is that Vinland Saga Season 2 was just really, really a slow burn. So if you were into storytelling, you would have really, really enjoyed Vinland Saga. But if you're more so into action, I can see why you would be like, nah, Jujutsu Kaisen should be over Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga, they really didn't prioritize the action. They gave you little glimpses of the action towards the end, where I was like, all right, like, listen, Thorfinn is still that dude. Like, they had to remind the viewers that Thorfinn still got those reflexes, but, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when he said he wasn't killing anybody, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to watch this anymore. But Vinland Saga is, in my opinion, superior to Jujutsu Kaisen for the year 2023. In 2024, would that change? I'm completely fine with that. It's like, hey, Jujutsu Kaisen surpassed all the other anime. That's great. But for 2023, the conversations that I was seeing, it was like blasphemy. Like, no, come on, bro. Like, Vinland Saga was better than Jujutsu Kaisen for 2023. We're talking about 2023, the animes, all right? But no, Jujutsu Kaisen wasn't even, I mean, Vinland Saga wasn't even number 1. And that should be told, right? So, number 2, and I even hate to admit this, all right? But number 2 anime for 2023 was Jobless Reincarnation, all right? Jobless Reincarnation came out in 2023. That thing was good. Am I a fan of it? No. But that thing was good. And it was a show about nothing. That's how good it was. Like, that's how good the storytelling of Jobless Reincarnation was, right? It was more better than Vinland Saga. And I will only argue that Jobless Reincarnation story was so much better because they included more action compared to Vinland Saga. Like, I swear, if Vinland Saga just included more action, it would have that spot. But they and I get it's probably based upon the comic, or like they're following the storyline. All right, so they didn't want to deviate like fucking Game of Thrones, right? Like, they want to maybe be true to the storyline. You just can't help the fact that it's slow, right? So, Jobless Reincarnation, the storytelling was just that superb. And for me, because I'm a huge anime fan, I'm a huge like romantic comedy anime. Like, even like not just romantic comedy, just romance. Like, I liked how the season ended. All right, the season ended with him and I think Selfie, like, them confessing their love for each other. Right? I feel like he's probably gonna have multiple girlfriends at this point, right? But like, it was a solid ending. It was a lot of good twists and turns, meaning like, hey, when he found out there's another person that was also transported to the world, there's like a lot of really good storytelling. There was like a lot of really good plot twists that, like, I don't know, I felt it was more creative. Then Vinland Saga was more straightforward, right? You kind of knew what to expect. You were just taken back by the amazing storytelling. Like, that's first and foremost, right? But no, whatchamacallit? Jobless Reincarnation story alone was top tier. I can't front. It was a show about nothing, in my opinion, but it was better than Attack on Titan's the last episode. It was better than Jujutsu Kaisen. It was better than Vinland Saga, all right? And me saying it's better than Vinland Saga is a bit of a stretch, but story-wise, bar for bar, right? If we're having a rap battle, bar for bar, it was. Like, come on. Be real with yourself, all right? And last, but certainly not least, the number 1 anime of 2023, content-wise, overall-wise, I was like, hey, like, this took me by surprise at how good it was, right, was Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise did come out in 2023. I remember when I was kind of making a list in my head, I was like, is this true? Let me look this up. Because there's no way Hell's Paradise came out this year and people just stopped talking about it. Hell's Paradise, unfortunately, I think I was hating on it before, is that good, right? It is the perfect mix of action, storytelling, suspense, survival kind of shows, power systems. It hits everything in a really well balanced way. I can't even front. All right. The thing I didn't really like about Hell's Paradise in the beginning was like it felt like a lot of anime tropes were, all right, this guy's like super strong. I'm like, all right, another OP character, but they mix it up a bit to kind of even things out, right? And the thing that I really liked about Hell's Paradise was that twist towards the end. All right, that twist towards the end, where it's like, yo, like he kept thinking he has a wife. It was like, yo, did somebody do a spell on him to make him think that he has a wife, but he doesn't really have a wife? It was, you know, it made me look forward to watching Hell's Paradise season 2. If there is going to be a season 2, all right? Not every anime makes it past these streets, all right? Not every anime makes it to a new year, all right? But without question, Hell's Paradise was probably the most balanced, the most engaging, the most like complete anime that I see in 2023. There are other animes that I missed, and you're like, nah, this is number 1, great. But if you're telling me it's Jujutsu Kaisen, I've already covered that. It's number 4. It ain't moving up. 23 already passed, so it ain't moving up, all right? But if the argument is like, hey, like there are other animes that were better than Hell's Paradise, please let me know. But for the most part, the list is solid, all right? So Attack on Titan's, the last episode alone makes it number 5 best anime of 2023 off of a single episode. Attack on Titan is that good. Number 4, Jujutsu Kaisen. There's no way I could be biased and say like Jujutsu Kaisen needs to be on that list. The sheer amount of content alone that it put out, it deserves to be on that list. But content-wise, overall-wise, it just wasn't up to par. It's good. That's the thing that I feel like I don't want people to misunderstand. In no way am I saying Jujutsu Kaisen is trash. Like, no. But in no way I'm saying Jujutsu Kaisen is like the end-all be-all. Like, no, like it's a very middle of the road show. The only thing that it really, really excels at is action. And unfortunately, I don't think that's like the best genre to try to compete in, because there's a lot of anime that aren't as popular that have good action. I'm currently watching Spy X Family. The action scenes on that is pretty good too. Is it Jujutsu Kaisen quality? No, but is that enough to satisfy my urge? Yeah. So like, just keep that in mind, all right? Jujutsu Kaisen excels at action, but you need to be able to excel in other things, not just that. So I think it does okay in everything else and just excels at action. I don't think that's enough to say it deserves best anime of 2023. Besides that, Jobless Reincarnation, majority of their storytelling, a small mix of action. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. My apologies. It was Vinland Saga, then Jobless Reincarnation. Vinland Saga, like I said, storytelling alone is just superb. I feel like the thing that probably pushed Vinland Saga over, the other anime that's below it is just that the name from season 1. All right, so people are so infatuated with how season 1 went that, of course, like the eyeballs for season 2 is going to be immense, right? So the storytelling was just top notch. The action, I think that's why it just wasn't number 1. There just wasn't enough action. They sprinkled some towards the end, but it was definitely enough of a story to kind of push it above the other anime. And then it's Jobless Reincarnation, where, again, superior storytelling, but they mixed in more action or enough action compared to Vinland Saga to be like, all right, like this was a very entertaining show. Very entertaining dialogue, very entertaining action scenes, very entertaining romance, entertaining across the board. All right, Vinland Saga was not entertaining across the board. All right, I'm not a fan of watching people fucking farm for like 5 episodes in. All right, like I'm not trying to learn how to be a farmer. Like that's not my thing. Right. I think Jobless Reincarnation was number 2, and then number 1 is Hell's Paradise. It hits all the check marks, all right, and it's just that good, all right. Again, it has the survival aspect, it has the power system aspect, it has the crazy plot twist, it has the quirky characters. It has the good storytelling, it has people dying, it has people love interest. Like it just, Hell's Paradise just checks all the boxes and it does it well. All right. Jujutsu Kaisen checks all the boxes, but doesn't do everything well. It just does something really, really well. Whereas Hell's Paradise does everything well, or I'll say above average across the board. Jobless Reincarnation could use more action, right? Vinland Saga could definitely use a lot more action, right? Jujutsu Kaisen could use a lot more of all those other animes, and it could take pieces of that. And then Attack on Titans, it was just one episode, so it needed more. But yeah, man, that's my top 5 anime list for 2023. And unfortunately, Jujutsu Kaisen is not number 1, but that's the reason why it's not number 1. It's not to say it's not a good anime, but there were better anime out there that premiered in 2023. If you're honest with yourself, you understand that too. But hey, it's your man MAS. I am out.